Launched this company, guys, back in 2015 after a long stint, not a stint, actually a tenure at Microsoft, almost 2 decades. He launched the company called Komiko, which is helping folks enrich their CRMs. It's a plugin. It's an add-on to CRMs. It's complementary, not competitive. They're up to 10 people now full-time, based up there in Seattle, doing about 60 grand per month. They get to that number because they've got about 2,000 employees across a large set of customers using their tool, and they charge about $30 a seat. So it's about 60 grand in MRR, did about 120 grand last year, hoping to hit that $1 million annual run rate by the end of 2017.
This is The Top, where I interview entrepreneurs who are number 1 or number 2 in their industry in terms of revenue or customer base. You'll learn how much revenue they're making, what their marketing funnel looks like, and how many customers they have.
I'm now at $20,000 per talk.
5 and 6 million.
He is hell-bent on global domination.
We just broke our 100,000 unit sold mark.
And I'm your host, Nathan Latka. This is episode 746. Coming up tomorrow morning, Derek joins us. He is a 6-figure poker player who quit to launch his own agency. Why did he quit such a lucrative poker game for a startup? Hello, everyone. My guest today is Hal Howard. He is the founder of a company called Komiko. Now, before that, he was a leader of the Microsoft Dynamics ERP development team from 2004 to 2014. So he's seen it. He's been there. He's done that. Hal, are you ready to take us to the top?
Sounds great. Let's do it.
Very cool. So tell us, start from the beginning. Tell us first what Komiko does, and let's hear about how you exited Microsoft and got into it in the first place.
Sure. Komiko is a sales intelligence tool that basically helps our customers understand what engagements with customers are working. It uses a combination of sort of data mining, machine learning techniques to understand what patterns of engagement with a customer are working, and it does it by going directly to primary data sources, not just your CRM, but things like email, calendar, phone logs, et cetera, to understand what's going on.
Do you pay for kind of other data sources just to check that, like Full Contact, Clearbit, things like this?
We have integrations with all of those kinds of services as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And quickly, what is your revenue model?
It's a subscription service. It's cloud service, classic user per month type fees.
SaaS.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Take us back to the launch story here. 2014. Sounds like you're killing it at Microsoft. You're having a ton of fun there. What was it like working there, and then why'd you leave?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at my history at Microsoft, I mean, I was there for 20 years and worked on essentially 4 version 1 products. And I like sort of building things and building things from scratch. And in 2014, we had reached a point with the Dynamics ERP business where I felt like, hey, I had a great team around me, people that were capable of moving the business forward and keeping going forward. And I was interested in starting over again and building something new. So, I looked at opportunities to do that within Microsoft. Felt like the best opportunities existed outside, and so founded my own company and went for it.
You could have done anything. Why choose this concept?
Well, essentially, my time in business applications, I became convinced that there were a lot of new technologies that weren't being exploited very well in business apps. Business applications typically are, a form in front of a database with some kind of a report being run at the end of the day, and most users of business apps view them more as a burden than an actual benefit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're a salesperson and you have to do a bunch of data entry in the CRM, you don't love your CRM system, right? And that sort of stuff. But it should be something that helps you day to day understand what's working with the customers. And so the whole idea, whole idea behind Komiko is to do that, is to make it useful for the people that actually use it.
And what's the average customer paying you?
Average customer pays anywhere from $30 to $35 per month per user, a good customer for us is, we have customers ranging from 3 users up to 500. So.
Got it. How many total users are there kind of across all your paid accounts? Like, are we talking 10,000, 100,000, a million?
2,000 at the moment and growing every day.
Okay, so there's 2,000, just to make sure I break this down right, there's basically 2,000 seats is the term, right? 2,000 seats
right.
Across how many businesses?
Around 50 businesses in total.
That's great. And so obviously you launched that in 2014. You just told me your per seat price was on the low end, kind of $30. You have 2,000. Yep. So what, you're doing a minimum of 60 grand per month right now?
Something like that, right around there.
Tell me more about the team kind of makeup. So you launched again back in, you launched it right after you left Microsoft, right, in 2014?
I took a few months off to consider various ideas, and then basically founded the company in February of 15. So yeah, we've been at it 2.5 years now.
Let's be honest. You convinced yourself that when you left Microsoft, you were going to just vacation the rest of your life, and you're sitting in Boca and go, okay, I can only have so many Coronas and Limes, and I can only lay in the sun so long. I want to get back into it, right?
It was Venice, but yes, pretty much the same idea.
It's pretty impressive. I can basically guess almost exactly what happened, right? So 2015, and what are you at today in terms of your team size? And help me understand the makeup.
Yeah, the team is pretty small. We're actually only 10 people. The advantage of cloud services today is you don't have to have huge infrastructure and huge teams to actually build a significant product. So it's we're 10 people today, and we'll grow a little bit over the coming year or whatever else as customer demand grows. But,
how many engineers?
8.
Okay, so and are you the kind of engineering co-founder, or are you the business kind of co-founder?
Both. The reality is that my co-founder and I both do a lot on the sales side, and we also do product engineering work as well.
Are you actually writing out code each day?
Not me. The team does that. It's been a while since I wrote code for a living, but I do a lot of the design work and sort of ideation around the product, that sort of thing.
This is a very, very fragmented and competitive space, right? You see a company like ToutApp, which just sold for a not so good number. You have other kind of companies that are raising money like Pipedrive, right? 19 million, I think. Stelly with Close. I mean, there's tons, right? Do you see yourself playing in the CRM space, or are you a customer of the CRMs? In other words, you're just going to enrich the CRMs.
Yeah, right now we see our app as complementary to CRM. We don't see ourselves replacing something like Salesforce, for example. We actually partner with Salesforce, and most of our customers actually have Salesforce, and we're complementary to it. Now, we're deriving a lot of value there. Will the value equation shift over time between what we charge for our app and what Salesforce is able to charge for theirs? Maybe. That's typical when you commoditize the platform layer or something, as the price does drop. But Salesforce done a good job of maintaining their value and their price points. So.
But just to be clear, will you ever have people coming to you, like I see some of your customers listed here, like let's say Far East Hospitality, right? When they come to you, are they saying, Hal, help me understand why to use you instead of Pipedrive? Like, are they comparing you in their CRM decision, or is it a different decision set?
It's a different decision set. They've already probably decided on the base CRM system, like how they're going to manage opportunities and that sort of stuff. What they're looking for is intelligence beyond that. Right, is what actual, in Far East case in particular, they're a hospitality organization, runs a big hotel group. We're currently working with the corporate bookings group there that has all the relationships with the corporate clients and so on. And so managing the relationship with those corporate clients, what's working, what isn't, what patterns of engagement work, that's what they're looking for.
Got it. Makes good sense. Let's jump more into the kind of the economics here. So in a space like this, churn can sometimes be high. What do you guys at in terms of gross monthly churn?
We don't lose customers, right? We're at a point in our evolution where we don't lose customers. We've lost in total over the history of our company 4 customers, and one was acquired, and therefore it wasn't a candidate anymore. One had a huge management changeover, and the other 2 were early days stuff where we were testing with them and decided to not support the scenario that they were working on.
What are you? It's not easy to get 2,000 seats sold. What are you doing to acquire new customers? What's your CAC?
Yeah, up until the end of last year, it was purely inbound. Like we were essentially listed in AppExchange and on our own website and that sort of stuff. People were coming to find us. Fortunately, my co-founder and I have a pretty good network of contacts from all the big businesses we've touched over time, and so we were able to drive a lot of business just by inbound people referring, reaching out to us, that sort of thing. Earlier this year, we did start an outbound campaign. We've really found a lot of success in the customer success account management space, and we're recently launched a partnership effort with GameSite where we're integrating with them. And
what's it cost you to do that?
It doesn't cost us anything. It's in terms of, it cost us in terms of development dollars, but it wasn't any expenditure to go into GameSite. They didn't pay us. We didn't pay them. We're just working together.
Okay. And what value do they get?
Essentially, if you look at what GameSite does, it's a customer success tool, and primarily they're focused on how the customer engages with the product and the work they're doing there and net promoter scores and so forth, whereas we focus on the people engagement component of it. So they're building a platform for customer success. Our component of the platform, which is the people metrics really help enhance the value proposition of their overall solution.
So, makes good sense. Did you decide to bootstrap this thing, or have you guys raised capital?
We did raise a little capital, so we did an initial friends and family round, and then we did a seed round last year in August, led by an organization called Founders Co-op here out of Seattle, and so we have raised a little capital. But
how much total?
What was it? About $2 million in total.
Okay, got it. All convertible notes, or have you been priced yet?
So we priced the seed round. The initial round was convertible notes.
Okay, got it. Makes good. Wait, you priced your seed round, but the round after that was convertible note?
No, the round before that, the initial round was all convertible notes because, of course, we had no idea what the company was worth at that time.
Yeah,
that sort of stuff. And then we chose to price the seed round.
What will make you really happy in terms of a revenue target for 2017?
If we exit 2017 at $1 million ARR, I'd be happy. Right, that's 18 months from the time we initially launched the product or started commercializing to get to $1 million. That's a pretty good benchmark for a SaaS company these days.
That'd be about $88,000 in December of 2017. You're currently at $60,000 halfway through the year.
Yeah, that's right. So I think we'll hit that mark. It's just a matter of driving hard to get there.
And what'd you do in total 2016 revenue?
2016 was we barely started. We exited the year at like $15,000 in revenue. So I mean,
what was the total though? If you add up, literally you're buying a tax. You're
120 less.
Okay, got it. Yeah, so you're growing rapidly, which is always a good thing. And then, do you have any weird costs you put above the line? What's your gross margin?
We don't have any weird costs we put above the line, basically. So, gross margin costs us, right now, even at subscale sort of scenarios, maybe $8-9 to host each tenant. And, at a $30 to $35 price, we've got a pretty good gross margin.
So what average that out for me? I mean, are you talking like 80%, 85%, 70%?
We're probably more like 75% gross margin right now.
That will obviously get better with time because you have a fixed cost structure built in there. But
absolutely, and we're not, the cluster, you obviously have to stay a little bit ahead of where customers are, but we, initially we're way ahead of where customers are, and costs have been dropping as we get up to scale.
If Benioff reaches out to you and says, we love this, or Clearbit or Full Contact and writes you a $2 million check, do you sell?
$2 million? Yeah. I don't think so.
What would the number be?
Well, I'd say, based on our last financing round, it would have to be at least 25. So, how
do you get to 25 based off your last financing round? What multiplier are you doing?
Well, the last financing round, the post-money number was around $11 million. So we'd want to at least double that for our investors.
Got it. You said post-money was 11 or pre-money?
Post-money was 11.
Post-money. And you raised, you said 1.5?
Yeah, 1.5.
Yeah, so you're pre, 9.5 or 9, something like that?
Yeah.
Many of you listening right now don't have time to listen to every B2B SaaS CEO that I've interviewed. If you want to get access to the database I've created with year-over-year growth rates, customer counts, margins, and many, many other data metrics and data points, you can go to getlatka.com. Here's the thing, though. That database, I keep it to myself. It's so freaking valuable. And to preserve the quality of the data and make sure that the people that have access to it have a true advantage, I'm only letting 10 companies on each month. So we're full this month, but you can go to getlatka.com to get on the waiting list for next month. And look, there's big people on the waiting list. I mean, the biggest VCs you've ever heard of. You've probably heard of them. They're big, private equity, billions and billions under management. So it's an impressive waiting list. Go get on now at getlatka.com. All right, guys, I talked about this earlier, but I schedule like so many meetings it would blow your mind. I mean, all my podcast interviews, right? Hundreds of entrepreneurs I talk to monthly. I schedule, and you know what? I do it so efficiently. I get them all to agree to my calendar, so all the calls are back to back to back. That means I'm not switching in between tasks all day long. I get them to batch so that I can be very efficient. It's so critical. I use a tool called Acuity Scheduling to do this at nathanlatka.com/schedule. It eliminates the back and forth between me and people I'm trying to meet with. It makes it very simple. And most importantly, they help me keep my no-show rate very low because they send out reminders. Helps you look very professional. So go to nathanlatka.com/schedule to sign up. And you get a great deal. You guys know this. I hit people hard. I make great deals. And Gavin, the CEO, has given us a great deal. If you sign up like normal people, okay, on their website, you only get a 14-day free trial. If you use my link, nathanlatka.com/schedule, you get 45 days free. Okay, it's the best. It's free. Go to nathanlatka.com/schedule right now to sign up, and I'll see you there. Yeah, very cool. Good stuff, Hal. Let's wrap up here with the famous five. Number one, what is your favorite business book?
Execution, Larry Bossidy. Because without execution, there's nothing.
I like that. Number two, is there a CEO you're following or studying right now?
Well, I had the good fortune of working with Satya Nadella day to day before he was the CEO of Microsoft, and admire him quite a bit. So I'd say he's probably the number one guy that I've had the most chance to work with. Obviously, Bill Gates before him, and Steve Ballmer had a chance to work with both of them. Not as closely as Satya, but certainly had a good chance to work with them. And then as far as people to admire, Elon Musk is pretty really near the top of the list, I think, for the audacity of that guy.
Did you know Satya was gonna be the next CEO? I mean, did you know early on?
I think 10 years ago, I had a pretty good idea that he was going to be one of the contenders, at least. There were many great candidates within the company, and certainly he was one of the best.
Yeah. All right, number three, what's your favorite online tool, like HostGator?
Our favorite online tool, HostGator.
Or just any online tool?
Yeah, any online tool. I don't really have a favorite online tool, I don't think.
What's one you use the most?
The one I use the most is actually because of my wine collection and so forth. A service called Binfolio. It's a seller management tracking software, tasting notes, and that sort of stuff.
Number four, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
Usually about 6, actually, and that's pretty normal for me. In college, it was more like 3, and 6 is feels like a luxury.
What's your current situation? How, you married, single? Do you have kids?
Married, 2 kids. One in college, one in high school, and we're having a great time.
And how old are you?
I am 49. Will be 50 this year.
Congratulations. Last question. Take us back 29 years. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
Don't worry, man. Everything's going to work out just fine. As 20-year-old, I was so focused and driven on a bunch of stuff that wasn't that important, and it's all going to work out if you just keep at it. So
There you guys have it from Hal. Do not worry. Loosen up a little bit. Drink some wine. Have some fun. Go to Boca or Venice. He launched his company, guys, back in 2015 after a long stint, not a stint, actually a tenure at Microsoft, almost 2 decades. He launched the company called Komiko, which is helping folks enrich their CRMs. It's a plugin. It's an add-on to CRMs. It's complementary, not competitive. They're up to 10 people now full-time, based up there in Seattle, doing about $60,000 per month. They get to that number because they've got about 2,000 employees across a large set of customers using their tool, and they charge about $30 a seat. So it's about $60,000 in MRR. Did about $120,000 last year, hoping to hit that $1 million annual run rate by the end of 2017. Again, churn super healthy. Other economics too early to tell. Hal, thank you for taking us to the top.
All right, thank you, Nathan.
If you enjoyed Hal today, go back and listen to Jose yesterday. I asked Jose a simple question. I said, Jose, you're killing it. With $1.5 million in revenue, are you going to replace PowerPoint?